on.
All right, time now for action from the Dusi Canoe Marathon. The third and final day of the Panasonic Dusi Marathon happened yesterday, just outside Durban, with Mark Perot aiming to become the first singles winner from Gauteng. On he gets. Well, he said he was working, but he was there, I'm sure, enjoying the atmosphere as well at the start at Inanda Dam. Look out for other big names. Nas Botha paddling with Oscar Chalipsky, and Bruce Fordyce partnering Neil Edmonds. Lots of big names out there on the water, and both those pairs finishing in the top 100. I want to see if they fell out the canoes or not. So look out for that action with the big names, of course, with the canoeing stars like Mark Perot. Here then the highlights of yesterday's action in the Dusi Canoe.
Welcome. It's the third day of the Panasonic Dusi Canoe Marathon. The start is here at a rather wet Inanda Dam. Now the big question is, from here, once you get out of the dam and you get to Burma Road, do you go over it or do you go around it? Lots of the competitors are battling with that as we speak. The big question will be the same for Mark Perot, who has a healthy lead of 6 minutes and 24 seconds over the first day leader, John Edmonds. And then in the women's race, well, that's not cut and dried either. But then again, nothing really is at the Dusi. And only time will tell. Here's Perot preparing for his off together with the women's leader, Wendy White. And of course they go off. The first hour goes off on elapsed time. Joining us, as he did in the previous 2 days, Ali Maynard, veteran of many Dusis, 14 of them altogether, and a quick start again by Perot.
Yes, quick start. Mark Perot will be making up as much time as he can across the dam so he can conserve his paddling on the river where he won't want to take any chances.
Well, the locals were picking up on some of the local news, who is leading who, some of the local cuisine, and then, dare we say it, the local timing. Debbie Witten, who was just a little more than 3 minutes behind, she had to get a very quick start, but these conditions suited her absolutely perfectly today. Again, a very overcast day, but someone who wasn't aware of how overcast it was, he wanted to race hard, was former champion Graham Pope Ellis in the veterans category.
Well, after all the bad luck yesterday, I'll be playing it quite safe today. Hopefully I'll be able to be a stronger paddler towards the end, but time will tell us.
He indeed did have a very good one. Here's Perot at the Top's Needle, and look at the speed that the river was flowing today.
The river is really full. You can see Mark Perot being able to put in a full stroke here and pull hard. He's coming up to the section now, the little rapid that has grown and developed below Top's Needle, and you can see the speed of the river. Mark reading the river very, very well, coming across to the right here and being greeted by some of his seconds.
Seconds included Mr. and Mrs. Perot, two very proud parents as Perot streaked by. Had taken out another 1.5 minutes here on John Edmonds, the man in second place. Edmonds 8 minutes behind. This is at the bottom of Burma Road.
Quite surprised how much water Mark has in his boat here. We were aware that he had a bit of a problem, but you can see the water pouring out. Beautiful picture of the Inanda Dam wall, giving you an idea of the water that they've come across. And then this is Wendy White going into Top's Needle. Wendy negotiating it very carefully, knowing that Debbie Witten is behind her. Very big water, not many paddlers would have got in where Wendy got in, and she handles it beautifully as she goes down, blocks there, and then picks up the stroke again, goes back across into the main stream.
Pressure cooker stuff from Wendy, and pressure too for this man, John Edmonds, overnight leader on day one, and finding himself 8 minutes down, another 1.5 minutes back on Perot. This is at the bottom of Hell Hill, Burma Road, almost 5 kilometers to the top. Then the women's leader, Wendy White, having to move as quickly as she can, because behind her, Debbie Witten was picking up pace all the time.
Debbie was picking up pace. There she goes, stroking along very, very well aware that she's strong in the river. She didn't go over Burma Road. She chose the Little John option, and this is Debbie going into Little John, hoping to pick up time on Wendy.
The seconds of Perot indicating just where they thought the line should be, but the line for him was straight over Burma Road. The poly shorts of the Panasonic Dusi Canoe Marathon, except maybe 200 or 300% worse. Look at the gradient of the hill. Perot with that big canoe on the shoulder, working very, very hard, and he was really worried about what this was going to do to him. But it looked like he had this one cut and dried. The last bit of Burma Road, he just had to walk. Leader Mark Perot at the top of Burma Road. The one fearsome obstacle that he's been thinking about for months and months and months. But that lead is increasing, and he's working extremely hard. So Perot enjoying that lead now, and all he has to do is go over the top and he would be the man. He'd lost 29 seconds to John Edmonds here, but the surprise of the day, the man just over Edmonds' left shoulder, Ant Rowan, catching him on Burma Road.
Tremendous effort by Ant Rowan, surprised many people. He's caught up tremendously well here, right at the top. It looks as if he's going to pass John, but of course John is a master at going over Burma Road and raced away from Ant as they went over the top and down the other side.
Exhausted sinews, muscles and bones at the top of Burma Road, but the worst of day 3 is over when they reach the crest of this hill, which is exactly at that point. However, further back on the course, wasn't all that easy. Raging white water. Why do they call it white water? Well, it's white from the top, but it also leaves you white in the face. Here's Oscar Chalupsky and Nas Botha making a little mistake. Nas was always better on the other side of the other fields.
Oscar Chalupsky getting in right at the top of Top's Needle, taking Nas Botha down there. Nas about to experience some of the holes that are in Top's Needle. Here we come up to one of them. Hangs on to Oscar. But fortunately, they managed to hold on to their boat. Oscar has the back and Nas has the front. Top's Needle being one of the most challenging rapids on the course and enjoyed by many of the paddlers.
Botha perhaps not enjoying that one as much as it was intended, and some of the other paddlers also finding that this asked all their skill, reserve and strength. Physiotherapy, I mean, could I have another paddle? Beautifully skilled through there, took the drop superbly, working the water for all it was worth, but the water had worked him for all it was worth in this case.
Paddler in the back of this boat, Tom Park, one of the Dusi veterans, showing the way through.
And more swimmers, or as the term goes at the Dusi, taking a goof. The Durban skyline winking appreciatively on the horizon, but Mark Ferro wouldn't even have been able to look up. He was on the other side of Burma Road on the descent. Mac McIntyre and former supermodel Sarah O'Dell chasing hard to keep up, and they're the second, so you can imagine just how quickly Ferro was going. And here's another man who came through very, very quickly.
Wayne Bullock decided to go around Burma Road instead of over. Very interesting option. Once again, a paddler has gone around Burma Road faster than the paddlers went over. Wayne setting up the fastest time for the third day by exercising this option.
And picking up 6 positions in the end. He would finish 6th overall after all of it.
Another paddler who also elected to go around, shooting the top of Island perfectly on the right next to the sliding rock, showing the way it should be done. Debbie Whitten also went round in an attempt to pick up on Wendy White. Here we see Debbie going into 5 fingers down the left-hand side, showing how it should be done expertly.
And closing the gap all the time on women's leader Wendy White. It was down to a few seconds by now. But with Durban in sight at the sharp edge of the field, Mark Ferro was going to become the first winner in the single section from Gauteng ever in the 46-year history. Here he was, streaking home. He completed this leg in 2 hours, 23 minutes and 39 seconds, an overall victory in 8 hours and 26 minutes. And that smile really just said it all. Boy, did I enjoy this one. Yes, Mark, and very well you may point the way. Number 1 it is in 1997. We caught up with Mark just after the finish.
I'm delighted with this one. I've worked hard, I've sacrificed a lot, and I'm pleased I finally managed to pull it off.
Let's talk for a second about the fact that this is the first time that a man from the Transvaal, or now the Gauteng, has won the singles title. That was also a very important part for you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was nice to be able to break the Natal dominance of this event. Neil Evans and I did it in '92 for the first time. But I must say I've had a lot of support from a lot of the people down here in Natal. They've helped me with training. It's been fantastic. It's been really good camaraderie, even amongst the top guys that have been racing. Kevin, John, it's been fantastic.
Indeed, the camaraderie was great at the front and as far back as you can count, because that's what the Dusi is all about. But it wasn't that great for this lady. Wendy White coming through right in the face, pun intended in this particular case, because she really had her work cut out for her. Just 13 seconds behind Debbie Witten had made a mistake a little bit further back, and that cost her the victory. She was able to hold on to take second spot. A great race in the women's section. Hardly believe after 3 days of torturous work it was over. Hubby Kevin waiting for her and saying, "Well done, sweetheart. I was holding thumbs here. I'm very proud of you." Then the Pope, Graham Pope Ellis, completing his 33rd Dusi Canoe Marathon, winning the Gillett's Lions Veterans Trophy over Kenny Reynolds, the man on the left-hand side of your screen, by a victory margin of 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Robert Lembete was third in 9:59. At the prize giving, a large and appreciative crowd welcomed the 1997 women's winner, Wendy White, and for obvious reasons, she was enjoying this. Receiving watches, medals, cups, as well as, important one, a check for 7,500 Rand from the Managing Director of Panasonic Business Systems, Chris Veldhagen. Then it was time to ask the 1992 Barcelona Olympian Mark Perro to make his way to the stage to receive his check worth a whopping 20,000 Rand for first place in the 1997 Dusi Canoe Marathon. But there may be checks, medals, awards and accolades, but the praise must surely go to those 1,400 paddlers who brave frightening waves, raging rapids and tricky portages just to say, "I finished the Dusi." Done at Little John's. Concentration, grit, speed, strength, agility, and most of all, cunning needed to beat all these incredible rapids.
35 cubic meters of water flowing down a beautiful river, giving everybody who entered this race the opportunity to really enjoy this third day.
Back at the bottom of Burma Road, that frightening portage ahead, more than 5 kilometers, the beautiful sight of Inanda Dam and the water flowing to these victories. Mark Perro enjoying a 6-minute cushion over John Edmonds, and surely a winner in the future, and Rowan taking third place. Barely 13 seconds in it in the women's placings, and third taken by Debbie Goldard, a good hour behind. Well, Gauteng had to wait for 46 years before they had a winner in the Panasonic Dusi Canoe Marathon. And this Saturday, it proved and delivered one in fine style. Also a very, very close win for the women's winner, Wendy White. And all in all, the Panasonic Dusi Canoe Marathon will be remembered for its extreme temperatures, changes in lead, and